Welcome to Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update. We are here on this Monday evening, March 11th, 2024. There's a lot to be reviewed from this past week, and normally at this point, I am bringing in our founder and president, Brian Gibson, but he is not here at this point. Not sure if he will be able to join us for sure, but he is moving the mission forward. He is working with a vet right now that needs his attention, and God bless him for doing that. We appreciate all the things he does, and that's what the mission is all about. We are here as a collective to help our veterans, to provide hope to veterans. So Brian did pass along the images that he had set up so that I can go ahead and share with you what the recap is from this past week. And really, there's a lot that's happened this past week that is very much worth sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and dive first into what he had prepared to share with everyone. So here we are with this first slide, help bring hope to veterans with Project Die Hard Fill the Can Challenge. Are you familiar with the Fill the Can Challenge? If you are not yet, now is your chance to get first dibs on getting yourself set up to participate in this. How to do that? Go ahead and send an email to contact@projectdiehard.org. You can see it right on the screen there. Fill the Can Challenge. It is going to run from Memorial Day until the 4th of July. What is it? You've heard of filling the can. You've seen that. You've seen fill the boot, there's different ways to go about that where you literally can have a can at a register, at a location, at virtual. That's going to be probably your most successful way. It doesn't need to actually be a physical can, though it can be, and they do have those available. You can also set up to have an online challenge going where you can send this out to all the people you know online and do a virtual fill the can challenge. So you decide how you want to do this, whether it's a physical can, whether it's something you get through Project Die Hard, whether it's something you create yourself, whether it's all online, you decide. This is the Project Die Hard Fill the Can Challenge, though, and the dates, again, is running from Memorial Day until the 4th of July. And do you know there's a traveling trophy that goes along with this? I only recently learned about that, where whoever it is that ends up raising the most funds during this challenge will get the traveling trophy for this upcoming year. So if you would like to participate in this, and we strongly encourage anyone and everyone to participate, you can go ahead and reach out at the email address on there, contact@projectdiehard.org. Our next piece here, Forward Operating Base Rush. If you are not familiar with the address, it's right there on the screen. It is at 189 Haven of Love Drive, Makanda, Illinois. Now, one thing that we need to let everybody know is that we are in desperate need right now of volunteers. On the second Saturday of the month, which would have been this last Saturday, is when they do actual in-person events for volunteering to do work at that location, at Fob Rush. So that is our Give Back Day. What we ask is for people to actually come in person and do something, do some volunteer time, whether it's an hour, a day, whatever you can do. We would love to have it be things happening literally in the building, on the grounds there at Fob Rush in Makanda, Illinois. So if you don't know, again, you'll have your phones on you, right? Go ahead and look it up. Where is this location? It's at 189 Haven of Love Drive, Makanda, Illinois. So go ahead and look that up and make some plans for next month, for the following month. Make a plan to go there and provide your hands, your whatever it is that you're able to do to help. So go ahead, reach out. Again, contact@projectdiehard.org. Teamwork is what makes the dream work. Because the sad part about this is from this last Give Back Day, just a couple days ago, guess how many people showed up? None. We actually did not have anyone come. I am very sad to report that there was nobody there. I was not there. I live, gosh, actually, I'm not even sure if it's 9 hours away. I'd have to map it again to give you the exact time. But yeah, I was not able to be there this last weekend. Nobody came. We need to fix that. So we also know that we are able to do things from a distance. You don't necessarily have to be there in person. However, we need to have both things going on. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on the grounds there and in that building. Our goal is before the year is done. So during 2024, there's enough renovations to take place in that building to make it at the point that it needs to be in order to house people and do all the things that this mission is looking to do. There's work to be done physically at that location in order to do that. So, what does that mean? It means reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, reach out to businesses, reach out to whoever you know, especially if they live within, I don't know, an hour or two of the location there, especially if you have people that are in that vicinity, to please let them know about Fob Rush and that there is this opportunity. This is a thing I know that's local here where high schoolers or there's different organizations where having volunteer hours and having that opportunity to volunteer your time to make a difference somewhere is a needed thing. So if people are looking for a place to fulfill those volunteer hours that they need for their own reasons, this is obviously a great place to do that. So the first Saturday of the month is the Give Back Day, where we are asking for volunteers. So please invite people. It says right on here yet. We still invite other ministries and nonprofits to use the facility, but we need volunteers. Without the volunteer base happening, we're really limited. So I'm going to actually throw out there the added piece of, even with this podcast, we could use more help with this. We have those of us on here doing this, but you know what? We could be doing more and bigger and better if we had more help with this. A simple thing would be having somebody who can help us organize volunteers. Organizing the guests who we have scheduled to come on here with us. That is an easy role to fill. It just takes a little bit of time, and you can do that from anywhere. So having that as a piece, that's an easy give back piece that we would love to have somebody step up and say, yeah, I know people. I can be the one to contact people. I can schedule this. That it's an easy piece to fill. If you're looking for something what would be a possibility? Well, there's one. We also could use help even. Okay, now, to be fair, I'm talking about the podcast because that's my little corner of the world here with what's going on with this mission. So it's easy for me to speak to that. There are ways to help with what we're doing here. There are so many ways to help with what's going on with Project Die Hard. That volunteers really are needed. And again, teamwork makes the dream work. One person giving 1 hour, 100 people giving 1 hour, 1,000 people giving 1 hour. You see where I'm going here. The more people that are involved and step up just a little, we can get a lot done in a short amount of time. So we're looking for that. We're looking for the help, and please prayerfully consider that of yourself and of those you know. Sharing with those you know. Okay, so I do my part. Join me here again where we're talking about volunteers. If you have a specific thing that you know that you would like to be able to participate with, go ahead and send an email with your ideas to volunteer at this address, volunteer@projectdiehard.org, which I love how that reads, volunteer@projectdiehard.org. Use that email address to go ahead and reach out and let us know what it is that you are able to do, what's on your mind, what ideas do you have. There are different ways. We all have our own strengths, right? We all have our own thing that we have, that's our gifts that we can offer. And for what I'm able to do is different from what you're able to do, and from your friend and from your neighbor. And if we can bring all of our strengths together and be open to doing something, That's what we're looking for. So please consider, what can you do to help volunteer and share this mission. Next here we have, let's see, I think there's a little delay and when I hit the button, there we go. The muscle behind the mission. Again, teamwork makes the dream work. If I had a nickel for every time I've heard that phrase in the last year here, it really does make all the difference. So a Project Die Hard volunteer brings skills, knowledge, and heart. They save the mission funds by giving their time. If we have to hire somebody to do a specific piece, if it's maybe you know something about plumbing, maybe you know something about construction, maybe whatever it may be, if we're able to bring in volunteers that can share their expertise with these pieces, that really does make a difference. If we have to hire somebody to do that, now we have to have somebody who's able to contribute the dollars that it takes to do that. And then there's all these different ways that we can make things happen. So really, whatever your skills are, whatever your knowledge is, please, 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 maybe you're somebody who does have, plumbing is in my mind because that's one that's on my mind right now. If you are somebody who has that expertise and is good at coaching somebody, even if you're not close enough physically to the location there to be able to come and actually do it yourself, maybe you can consider helping somebody from a remote location. I'm on the screen right now. There are so many ways to be able to do this type of thing one-on-one, whether it's like using FaceTime or using Zoom, whatever mode we want to use. There are ways where you could be able to help and lend your expertise, even if you're not able to physically be there yourself. Even if we had somebody we could call on to say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. What do you recommend? What's our next step? Get creative. Think outside the box. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the one with the hands yourself, although we would appreciate that, obviously. There are ways to consider what you're able to do outside of what's traditional. So think about it. Think about what is possible, and let's talk. So volunteer special task. We need a volunteer who has internet research skills. We need somebody who can do internet research. We also need somebody with experience using Excel. Do you know how to use Excel? We really are looking for somebody right now with experience with Excel and is good on the internet. And you know what? There's a lot of people that are really good on the internet. This could be fitting for a lot of different people, but specifically we are looking for somebody who's willing to spend some time doing some research on the internet and using their skills with Excel to benefit the mission. So those are a couple of easy pieces that if you're willing to give some time, we really could use that help. So again, reach out to us at volunteer@projectdiehard.org if you are the one, or if you know someone. Volunteer your friend. No, well, it's easier to volunteer yourself, right? But please, we are looking for that. Okay, and final slide here. Community support programs. We definitely need help, not only with the volunteer side, we also need help with, we could use more ambassadors. I am an ambassador with Project Die Hard. And what we could use additionally is to grow our ambassador team. There are several of us working hard with all the things behind the scenes here. There's a lot more that needs to be done. I know Brian was just saying, what would it be if when we had our ambassadors meeting that we would have 20 of us on the screen, for example? Can you imagine how much more we could do and how fast we could get that done if our team grew to that extent? I'm seeing the number 22 on the screen here. Maybe that should be our goal. How soon can we get our team of ambassadors to be as many as 22 here that are here actively helping grow this mission? Can you imagine? That would be a huge, huge step in the right direction. So when I look back here at what's all happened this past week, I know that there was a deep dive that we had, a special podcast last Friday night. It was a deep dive into a veteran issue. So one that was chosen was actually from last Friday. I'm just bringing up my notes here. It was veterans being church hurt. Are you familiar with that phrase? Because actually that was not one that I personally was familiar with. So veterans being church hurt. It was a phenomenal conversation. We had several guests that joined us for that podcast. We had James Scott from Paducah, Kentucky. We had Chris Tice. We had Dr. Brad Henson and Coach Vrona all joining this conversation. And I'm telling you, the pieces that, oh my gosh, I strongly encourage you to go look it up and listen to that podcast. You're going to hear all sorts of things that you did not know was happening. I learned things. I even learned a new phrase. Have you ever heard the phrase or the word de-churched? That was a new one for me. Do you know what that means? Go take a listen and find out more. I'm going to share my screen here and share a couple things that I think will make life a little easier. If you can get a little orientation here, since we have this opportunity to learn more about the background and things you can find online, ways that you can actually see and support and share and all the things online with Project DieHard. I'm going to go ahead and bring up projectdiehard.org. This is the website for Project DieHard. You can see right at the top here the phone number and contact at projectdiehard.org. Website is listed right there. We are a faith-based, scripture-led 501c3 organization. It is a true veteran nonprofit organization, and we are all about bringing hope. Mission statement right here: bring hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. We do have opportunities to bring hope to veterans on the first Wednesday of the month. Veterans do eat for free at the IHOP location in Paducah, Kentucky. We need a sponsor for this. We have a group that has stepped up and has that covered for this month, the one that just took place this last week, and for next month. But after that, we're in a world of hurt right now. We are asking, please, we need somebody to step up. We need, whether it's somebody, some group, some organization, some corporation, we're looking for the funds to continue this really important piece. Do you know that literally hundreds of veterans have come through there? I actually don't have the number in front of me, but around 400 veterans have been fed by attending the once a month program. It is something that our guys are looking forward to. I use guys liberally, guys, gals, those that are attending. This is a way to connect. This is something to look forward to each month. And isn't that what we're all about? Bringing hope to veterans, having that thing to look forward to connect with their fellow servicemen in the area there. It is a big deal. It sounds like a little thing. It's breakfast. It's not a little thing. It's actually really important. It's a great event, a great opportunity. And I've heard a number of success stories that have come from those who have attended and have met others, have connected, have been referred to different resources. A lot of good comes from these events. So it is on the first Wednesday of the month at the IHOP in Paducah, Kentucky. And then also on the first Saturday of the month, veterans eat for free at Forward Operating Base Rush. So there's two opportunities there where our guys can come together, and we are looking for a patron or several patrons to please step up and find this as your role as a donor towards this. So not only donors, but we're also looking for, as the event is taking place at Forward Operating Base Rush, we need volunteers there as well, because somebody's got to help with serving the food, right? Cooking it up, getting it ready to go, talking to those that are there, being a host on the site. I mean, Brian's there. Brian, I can't say enough about what he does. There's so much going on, and he's wearing all the hats. We need to help with all of this. So again, here is a great opportunity. I'm just going through, well, here, there's a picture of Forward Operating Base Rush. If you haven't seen it before and wonder what the facility looks like, there's a picture on your screen right now of what that looks like. So we are looking to get that up and running. Obviously, it's already, the doors are open for events on site there. So there are pieces in place, but the rest of this still needs to be accomplished here. So we still need to get that the area that's going to be sleeping quarters, we still need to get that remodeled and in a place where we can actually have people staying there as part of this mission. So there's a video on here that it would definitely be worth watching. So again, all sorts of good things going on. There's a spot even right here where if you want to go ahead and support the organization, you can do that through what you see right here on their website. And I do want to do a shout out. Web design, all the things you see here is provided by Blue Dragonfly, and what a great group. We had somebody from the organization, Krista. I'm sorry, I'm like having that moment of what's her name? Absolutely lovely. Just so enjoyed. I'm sorry, Kendra. We had Kendra on here last week. Loved having her on here, hearing all the things that she's doing to help with creating what you see and organizing all of the message, the graphics, all the things that she's doing to help this. And go back and watch last week. You'll get to see a little bit more about her directly and what the organization of Blue Dragonfly is all about. So I highly recommend them to you. I'm going to switch. Obviously, there's more you can learn about here. You can find out more about the organization, how to donate, having it in where you can find us in the news and to contact us. I'm going to switch, though, to another screen here, YouTube. Are you a subscriber with us yet? If you're not, please go and set that up for yourself. If you go to YouTube, go to the YouTube, just youtube.com. And if you go in the search bar and search for Project Die Hard, or you can see it right on the screen here, this is the address to go to, youtube.com/@ Project Die Hard 2536. That is the link. If you just want to go directly to the link, you see it. I'm going to leave it on the screen here long enough for you to jot that down. Go ahead and find us and subscribe. You can see right here, I already am subscribed. If you have not yet, it'll give you a button right here that says, allows you to just click on it, and you could be subscriber number 28, 29, 300. We're looking to grow this. We need to get the word out about this and to grow it quickly, because this is a way also for the organization in the long run here. We'll be able to raise money through this venue as well. Once we get over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watched time on our YouTube channel here, that's that magic moment when we'll be able to start actually having funds coming through YouTube back to the organization. We are doing these videos anyway that are the updates of what's happening. You can participate, even if it's on this very simple level of becoming that subscriber. And please share it out. Share. If you go to, let's see, here's the veteran issue deep dive that we did. If you were to click on that, I'm not going to play right now, but a moment, let me go ahead and pause that. But see right here, there's a share button. Super simple to just click that share button, and you can instantly share it to any of these platforms that you may already have, or you can just copy the link by clicking on that copy button, and you can post it wherever you want. It is so simple to share out what is happening. Please consider doing that. It takes so little time. How long did it take me to do that click? A couple of clicks, right? Really, really simple. If you go to Facebook, again, I want to make sure you know how to find Project Die Hard on Facebook. So there's so many that are able to be on here and have accounts on Facebook already. So if you go to facebook.com/Project Die Hard 22, that is where you will find Project Die Hard. Again, you can follow, you can subscribe, you can do all the things. We have 3,100 followers now. So grateful for that. You're able to see when we are live. We are on here. The video that we're doing right now, I will be uploading later. It should be playing live on here right now, and it's not. I'm a little concerned by that. It should be on there, and it's not, but that's all right. We will fix that. That is what we have. That is what we do. We are able to go ahead and do all these things to get the word out. So I appreciate you walking through that with me, because that is a way for anybody. Oh, actually, I see I'm still screen sharing here. That is the way for anybody who's seeing this to just super easy share out what this mission's all about by sharing the videos, by sharing the website. All these things are so simple and passive. It's an easy way to get the word out, because I've said before, my biggest fear as we're doing all this is that Project Die Hard is like the best kept secret. That is not the point of this. We don't want to be a secret. We want everybody to know that Project Die Hard exists. We want people to know that this is a place for veterans to be welcomed, to feel they can come to this organization and get whatever it is that they need. Do you need to meet somebody? What kind of a referral do you need? What is it that is the hurdle that's in front of you that you could use a hand with? I don't know what that is. It's going to be something different for everybody, right? So this is a way for, very simply, to share this out and let others know of what's going on. So I know that, let me just give me 1 second here to check my notes and see if had anything else that I should be sharing with you on this update. Again, our president and founder, Brian Gibson, normally is joining us right now and was not able to join us tonight. He was planning on it as of this morning, but you know what? He reached out and said there's a veteran that needed his time tonight, and that's the priority. That's what we do. That's, as an organization, that's what Brian does all day long. He's helping people. He thinks beyond himself constantly. So grateful for him and for what he's done to create this organization. And I stand here I sit here as an ambassador. Again, my name is Sue. I can be reached Susan@projectdiehard.org. That's my email address with the group here. Susan@projectdiehard.org. Feel free to reach out to me. I am here for a reason. When I heard about this mission, when I heard what Brian has put together and what Project Die Hard does and is, what it represents, it's that whole thing of, what can I do? I all I can hope is that as you're hearing this, that's something that crosses your mind as well. What can I do? What can I do? That I guess that's my take home message for everybody tonight, is to think about that, to prayerfully consider, what can I do? This is doing the podcast like this. This is what I'm offering. This is what I can do. I'm able to do this. I'm looking to say, okay, you're listening to this. Please consider, what is it that you can do? Whether it is, again, we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for funding, we're looking for people hands-on at the location to help out. It's a massive list of things that could be a positive influence, and I don't even know what that is for each person, right? This is what I can do. I have no idea what your piece is going to be. Maybe you don't know yet. That's okay. You'll figure it out. Reach out. If you have any interest at all in just even feeling out what might that look like. Again, I know there was a couple of specific pieces that are an easy call out right now. Brian they had the comment in there about looking for somebody who knows how to use Excel, and also somebody who can do some research on the internet for him, for the organization. Those are a couple of easy pieces. Are you that person that can do either of those? Either or both? Maybe both. I don't know. I'm not sure what's all involved in either of those, but you know what? All it takes is asking the question and joining in and finding out for yourself. So consider that as a possibility. Let's see here. I am going to say one more time, the veteran deep dive that we did last Friday night, that is definitely worth your time to go back and listen to. Can't say enough good things about all four of the gentlemen that were guests on the program that evening. It was amazing. It was intense. It was insightful. I heard so much that I did not have any idea about. There are a lot of things going on in the church where I did not know some of these things were issues for our veterans. Maybe this will be eye-opening for you too, to go back and take a listen to that. I didn't know. And I'm involved as much as I am, and I didn't know. So it's a reality for guys and gals who are reaching out to different in different directions. You know, sometimes that first reach out might not be where you needed to be at that moment. You found out that there maybe is a closed door there that you thought that all of us would have thought would have been open, but we're all human, right? We have our own limitations, we have our own preconceived notions, all the things that we all are dealing with. So please don't take that as a total stopping point if you come across a challenge. There's that old phrase where one door closes, somewhere a window opens. That was not the right avenue for you at that day. There's another avenue that's going to be the right one. It's just a matter of keep looking, keep trying, keep going. That, you know, Project Die Hard, again, it's all about delivering hope to veterans. That's, I guess, if nothing else, I hope you're hearing that, to know that if the first attempt was not the thing that you needed, for whatever it was you were reaching out for, if you did not get the answers you needed, try again. If there's something that we can do here at Project Die Hard to help open a door, whatever that may be, reach out. We've had a lot of different guests on the program with us, and with those that have been on here, they all sit up and say, hey, I can provide such and such as a whatever. There's a lot of people that have been on here. We've had people that are experts in finances. We've had people that are experts in nutrition, in job hunting, in so many different fields. If you are looking for some help in whatever avenue it is that you are looking for right now, I bet we probably have somebody that we can say, hey, this person would be a direction we can go and call on to bring in and be a resource for you. That's what this is all about. We are looking to grow the resource pool that we have as well. So I guess that'd be another consideration here. Are you a person that would want to be a guest on here? Are you somebody that can offer something of yourself to our organization and to the veterans that look to us, to say, hey, this could be something for you. This could be a role that you could play with us, is to be a guest on the program here. What expertise do you have? That is something that we would love to find out, explore a little further with you. So if you're interested in being a guest, again, feel free to reach out to me directly. Also, we do have an email address that's specifically for the podcast. Since this is PDH Mission Monday update, monday@projectdiehard.org is an email that you can reach, and that would go to all of us on the podcast team. So I do see that Kurt is on his way in as well, and I would love to bounce off some ideas with him, but I know he's not quite on here just yet, but looking forward to introducing Kurt in just a moment. So I'm assuming he'll have once he gets his camera on, he'll be able to join on in and give a hello and his recap of this past week as well. I will mention that, so you know that we did that deep dive this past Friday evening. It was the first Friday in March. Our next one is coming up on the first Friday in May. So May 3rd will be our next event. And the deep dive on that, for that event, is dealing with veterans and employment. There's a lot of different considerations, some things that I didn't know were issues. Again, I find it interesting that there can be themes and issues out there going on that other people can be me included, completely oblivious to this being an issue. One thing that I heard recently with veterans and employment is that some are reluctant to put on their resume that they are a veteran. That took me, I'm still wrapping my head around that, because to me, I'm looking at the part of, oh my gosh, you've got military experience? How awesome is that? That's a massive bonus that you bring to an employer because of that military background. Well, now I'm starting to hear that there's a flip side to that, that there's the potential employers are maybe, again, I'm speculating a bit here on pieces I've heard, that perhaps there's concerns around PTSD or I can't even fathom what all the issues might be, why that could be a concern or a negative why somebody would not put on their resume that they're a veteran. So I've got a lot to learn. I'm looking forward to hearing more on May 3rd. So that's going to be the first Friday in May. Again, May 3rd at 5 p.m. Central. So that's going to be our next deep dive event. So be sure to stay tuned for that, and who's all going to be our guests on for that evening. Definitely looking forward to hearing more, because I think there's going to be a lot more that I haven't even obviously considered at this point. I'm looking forward to learning more and being part of that conversation. So I do see that Kurt is coming on screen. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready to pop on in here and say hello. All right, I am seeing that magic thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in. So Kurt, welcome aboard. So glad to have you here joining us. This is my hubby downstairs, actually, joining in the conversation here for our Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. Just to get you up to speed here, Brian did send his slides with the update from this past week. I did share those and have covered a bit about that we had our deep dive this last Friday. I know you were more part of the conversation during that, so I'm not sure if you had some reflections that you'd like to share on that or anything else that's on your mind. So Kurt, welcome aboard. Come on in. Say hi. Ooh, do we have a sound issue? I'm not sure if he is able to hear me or not. I thought we were all good, but now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, yeah, so can you hear me now?
Ooh, looks like we are having
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Now I hear you. Go for it. I think we might be having an internet issue at the
we've
house
been
here.
working with Project Die Hard. All right, so we've got a good connection now.
I hope so. Please go ahead.
All right, so yeah, we've been involved with Project Die Hard, you and I, for a couple years and several months, I say. And so yeah, we've run the gambit of getting more and more insights to the veteran community and some interesting, viewpoints, about and around veterans, and yeah, the unfortunate stigmatizing of veterans. And so yeah, we have learned in the years past that through others, I mean, I don't have any direct experience to it, but on a secondhand basis, yeah, it was shared in the last few years already that veterans conceal their veteran status, because the idea is that there are veteran programs to subsidize the initial hiring, of a veteran. So then, what's reported is that veterans shared that companies will take on these veteran programs, take advantage of the work of a veteran. And Brian points out it's just plain taking advantage of veterans for profit. So then when the veteran program, when the subsidy is out and whatever, then they let the veteran go. And so the veterans are seeing that, that they don't like that idea of walking into a dooming temporary situation. They'd rather be hired on their merits and develop a long-term relationship and not run into these surprises only for being a veteran. So yeah, that's a little bit of a twist that I've seen. And so yeah, when we discussed that in our team meetings, Brian said, yeah, that's a topic that's worth a deep dive, because that is a significant source of stress and strain, and kind of building off of the PTSD adding insult to injury and all those sorts of things. So we do need to get, deep into that subject and really create some awareness out there for the workplace, so that we can reach those who are hiring and, to kind of hit their hot buttons to say, we're talking about you, we're talking about you, person who makes the hiring decision. Like, where are you on this veteran issue? Where are you in patriotism? And where are you, creating a climate in the workforce, in workspaces, in the interviewing process, people experience on LinkedIn and so forth, to say that, a company is very favorable to veterans and committed to not make that a dynamic, that their company would take on veteran service programs, take advantage of the monies to subsidize the payroll for that veteran. And then all of a sudden, when those funds are off to the side, that all of a sudden they discontinue the employment. It's just striking us as not ethical. Some people out there in the business world just kind of say, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make a profit, and that's all there is to it. And so we're going to take a look at that and put our scruples to it and look at it from a 360-degree perspective and, get different inputs. So, I mean, if folks out there are in the human resource space, if there's any veterans who have that lived experience, anyone else who have seen headlines, or even if people want to do some Google work, do some research, and then share it back to us at Project DieHard, contact at projectdiehard.org, or even through our Monday podcast. The deep dive will actually be on a Friday setting, but one way or another, reach our team with that stuff. And we would love to incorporate all contributions by all of you, our supporters out there. So, Susan, what's next?
Well, I was wondering if you wanted to, do you have any thoughts or review from what took place last Friday? Because there was the deep dive last Friday on the topic of veterans being church hurt. And I know you were part of that conversation. Did you have any thoughts as a follow-up to that you had? Because I know there were so many good things being spoken about that night. Did you have some things that you wanted to just share as far as what your impression was of how that all was, what you learned, what you observed? I did do a screen share here so people can easily find the channel, so people can look up Project DieHard's YouTube channel, subscribe there, and to be able to find that podcast, that they'd be able to come back to it and listen to it in its entirety. But I just wondering, did you have any thoughts that you want to share about what you all experienced with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess in experiences like what we did with that deep dive on church hurt really anchors in for me that you and I, Sue, are, in the right place here, and we're doing needed work. And it's interesting to notice, the scratching the surface of these issues. I mean, we had a marvelous, hour packed. I mean, we couldn't even fit it into an hour.
Right.
Early on in the conversation, Brian was even like, with my commentary, like, all right, let's pack it in here. We've got, we had quite a panel there. And so, yeah, it was very interesting to see the appetite for, getting on the pulpit, kind of getting a little preaching going, and, share perspectives and making commentary towards it. And I guess from my participation in it, what I was trying to do is to kind of say, it's good to come into these topics and into these issues, and if it's happening at our church and whatever, to react to it, and to, as a leader, put a lot to it and really give the congregation and the people involved something to think about. But I was trying to reach to, the empathy side of it, the consideration, like even the people who are, practicing church hurt in terms of, having these attitudes of trying to protect the church in a way of whatever's going on with that veteran, or to say it right to a veteran or whatever, and to have that appetite to say those things. I was trying to come in and say something in that person's life, gave them the inclination that that's the way to respond to what they're observing. And then in terms of on the veteran side of things, it took the setting of a church to give another way that veterans come into a setting and they're misunderstood and they're mistreated, a misplaced reaction. And, it runs the gambit in terms of where it comes from. But the point is that this is the battlefield that veterans continue to navigate through in civilian life, that, there is unfortunately this inclination, to kind of be brutally honest, I guess. But the honesty is for sure brutal, that's the way they feel. And then for the veteran, you run the gambit in terms of who that veteran is. I mean, you could have a veteran that is a very dominant, like very vocal and driven. Like Brian says, once in a while, he'll get into meetings and, he really puts it right there. He puts it on the line and he lays it out. And sometimes people don't appreciate Brian's brutal honesty about the advocacy for, brothers and sisters as veterans. And, so it's a relationship issue. I guess that's what I'm learning, is that even within or I guess especially within a congregation, I added in that we're talking about churches. So kind of where are we putting going to sacred scripture? What is the role of that, of those writings and readings, so the other side of it is, again, with churches, with prayer. I talked about how, with, my experiences in churches, going back to youth time when I was a teenager, I talked about the youth ministry taught me about discernment. So the idea about being equally yoked. So I guess I was trying to throttle the leadership and, pastoral, type of aspect, or even if it's church leaders, people leading in the churches in other ways, and to look at that commoner, that commonplace person. And I talked about how, like you have some people who are very seasonal, like maybe they come into the church because they want to go to the church to celebrate the birth of our Messiah, or maybe they come into the church because they want to be in that Passover, timing, to celebrate in the church. And, you just never know the infrequency. So sometimes you could catch people out of context, with what you're addressing. And so it's something to handle with kid gloves. And, and then I talked about how, I look at the commitment to me is shown on the calendar. Is this something that's going to be a flash in the pan? It's kind of like a ripe topic. So it gets addressed big, and then it's like dousing a fire and then you move on, versus saying, let's talk about this twice a year, or annually, or let's make sure it doesn't slide for more than a couple of years without bringing it back, so that it's something that is part of the regular business model of the church's business. Where is that? So yeah, it gave me an opportunity to advocate for things that in my, over 2 years with Project Die Hard, that, brought me to say some things like that never had the opportunity to be before in this setting. So it was very powerful. And with Project Die Hard, I hope we take this kind of a deep dive within the next year and a half or something, at least. We'll see how our deep dive programs go. With doing it every other month, you're talking every year, you can handle 6 topics then. So it'll be interesting how we create this pattern of topics for our deep dives. So stay tuned and give us suggestions. Email us, contact us, let us know. My contact information is Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectdiehard.org. And my phone number is 262-3721-SKI. Comes from our water skiing passion. And that ski ends up giving us 262-372-1754. So 754 are the buttons to push for SKI ski. So back to you, Sue. What are we going to do to wrap up here today?
Well, I think you kind of hit a crucial piece here. We all have had different experiences, right? I'm not a veteran. I did not share that experience in my life. That is not something that I can directly relate to. I appreciate so much what our veterans have done for us. I appreciate what those that have gone ahead and made the sacrifices of their time, of some have sacrificed all, right? And the fact that there are so many that still struggle on different levels after coming back and are here switching back to civilian life, the life that I get to enjoy because of the service that others have provided. We all have different experience and we build off of what we know. And I believe truly that there's a lot of things that a lot of us just don't know. We don't have a way to relate to it unless we look, unless we ask, unless we actually pay attention to what's being shared with us. The fact that this, you look at Project Die Hard, look at the logo. There's that number 22 on there. The reason that 22 exists is because the horrible statistic of 22 veterans per day that are losing their life to suicide. If you don't know, it's one of those, if you don't know, you don't know. But once you know, you can't not know it. It's a horrible fact. That is, and from what I understand at this point, that number has climbed with all the efforts going out there and all the attention that this is getting. It's still not enough. Project Die Hard exists for the reason of making that difference. And again, it goes to experience. We all have different experience. We all have different expertise. As I was saying earlier, as far as those that are volunteering, and if you are called to volunteer for this organization or any veteran organization, that contribution of yourself, you bring a unique experience and a unique perspective that nobody else has. You, each of us have our own specific, unique pieces, our expertise, our thoughts, our opinions. They come from somewhere. We've all grown different lives. We've all come from different backgrounds. And by combining what we all know, that's where magic happens. Where we hear over and over from Brian, teamwork makes the dream work. Because we all have different skills. We all have, what I can bring to the table is different than what Kurt can. Granted, we're married. So we have a lot of things that are similar that we can bring to the table. We have that team effort that does exist here. But we are not on the grounds there at Fob Rush. We live many hours away. So we have a limitation on what we can actually physically do there. However, you're obviously hearing one of the things that we can do, because of that whole thought process. Okay, if that's not something I can do right now, what can I do? We are creating this podcast. We're talking, we're sharing, I'm hopeful that it hits somebody in the right way. That number one, it brings hope to somebody that there are people that care. There's resources out there. The opportunity is there for everybody. I also am hoping that people are inspired to know that they can make a difference. Volunteering, contributing financially. We got the Fill the Can project starting soon. Please participate in that. Whether you want to create your own fundraising piece of that, again, go ahead and reach out and tell us, because there are cans to be shared, and there's also, again, the online way of doing the fundraising as well. You could be the one that goes home with the trophy for this upcoming year if you're the one that raises the most money during the window. So that window again is from Memorial Day until July 4th. that is coming quickly. So please consider if that is something that you can do to help grow this mission. There, we all have our gifts. We all have our pieces that we can do, and I can't encourage you enough to jump on board to what is going on here with Project Die Hard and what this mission is doing to provide hope to veterans. So that is my take home message: is please, that is my reach out. What can you do? Kurt, I'm just going to turn the mic back to you for a moment here to see if you had any last thoughts to share before the night is over.
Yeah, I think what we got to do, Sue, is use our format here on Mission Monday Update, on the deep dive on Church Hurt. Brian went around with everybody as a part of that program to speak to what we've done here at the format. And like what I said about time, Brian had me not take a turn because he said with me, I could come back into here and do it tonight. So I think that's a little bit of an assignment, by Brian. So I want to get that in before we end in terms of responding to, what do we have at this point to say if we have our veterans out there or a vet that is in this time of need, fighting the demons, in suicide ideation and struggling with this thought, what would we tell that veteran? And so you just said it, Sue. It's about, our mission is about spreading hope to veterans. So any veteran out there, I would say, I know in the past we've covered the veteran crisis line. So I have it here. Help is available. Speak with somebody today. 988 is the suicide. So that's the numbers to dial for help for the suicide and crisis lifeline. I'm not sure. Is that? I'm trying to think if that is. Yeah, and it says then press 1. So dial 988, then press 1. I believe that's because if you're a veteran in the crisis or know someone who is, dial 988 and then press 1 for immediate support. So those types of things, are important to consider because as much as other veterans and, other people are there to help, which is great. That is where it starts. And, again, in terms of responding to this, it's called QPR. So kind of on my side of it saying, how do you prepare to respond to this? It's, question, persuade, and response. So if there's anybody out there, if you're a veteran that is in this time of need, I guess that's what these messages of hope are all about, to perceive that you will pick up the phone and, call for help like that, connect with somebody, don't leave this as something you, try to, fight on your own. So consider that support network, get the professionals on the phone that deal with this every day and reach out to us at Project Die Hard. And let's get you taken care of because that is why we're here. So, Sue, you got a minute to win it. What do you have to say to finish off the show tonight?
Excellent. Well, this is for us here. We're looking forward into this spring weather we're starting to get. There's so many things to look forward to. Please do join us here again every Monday night. Project Die Hard Mission Monday Update does take place every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central. So we will be back next week. I'm assuming that Brian will be joining us, unless again if the duty calls and that's something he needs to go do. You'll have us, and hopefully we'll have a guest or two to join us next week as well. So as always, we are so grateful for what anybody, whoever is helping this mission. We are grateful to you, appreciate you more than you know, and to all of our veterans out there. Same sentiment and more. We appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for all you do. And again, for Project Die Hard Mission Monday, for all of us here, as always,